The Lawfare, meaning legal warfare, against President Donald J. Trump reached a new height last week. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. That's right. Merrick Garland, United States Attorney General, has appointed a special counsel to investigate the allegations that triggered the Mar-a-Lago raid. This comes on top of attempts to pass a bill of attainder against Trump. And after a legacy media outlet admitted that the Mar-a-Lago raid was over a difference of opinion more than anything else. It illustrates the depths to which Trump's enemies have sunk. And because Trump's enemies are the people's enemies, it also shows that patriots need to lawyer up, collectively, if not individually. Yes, that's a lot to unpack. Before we start unpacking, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which quotes George Orwell saying, "Boy, did I call it or what?" He called it all right. And not just with a novel titled 1984. How about a novel titled Animal Farm? It's an allegory for the old Soviet Union. But the real point is that it shows what happens when those who lead a rebellion against definite tyrants become just as tyrannical as they were, or more so. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? Super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click on that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, as long as it's legal tender. All right. The lawfare against Trump started a week after the election, even before he dramatically announced his intention to run for president again. Representative David Cicilline from Rhode Island introduced a bill to declare Trump ineligible for office per Amendment 14, Section 3. I have links in the description to a pair of tweets from one Nicholas Wu. Now, after reminding us that Representative Cicilline was a Trump impeachment floor manager, Mr. Wu tells us how he, Wu, obtained a copy of a 4-page letter that Mr. Cicilline was passing around his fellow representatives. In that letter, Mr. Cicilline insists that the J6 committee and the 2021 impeachment trial in the Senate have somehow proved that Donald Trump led an insurrection against the United States. Accordingly, he's drafting legislation to disqualify Trump from running for president, citing his alleged leading of an insurrection. I don't really have to narrate that letter for you. Just follow the tweets and you can read it for yourselves. But just remember two things. First, the Senate did not convict Trump of anything. And second, no court of law has ever, and I mean ever, found or ruled that anything remotely similar to an insurrection took place that day. All right. Let us assume for the sake of argument that the AG or Mr. Cicilline or anyone else could prove Trump guilty of fomenting insurrection or rebellion. Well, Section 3 does disqualify anyone from holding office if he took part in insurrection or rebellion. But it also empowers Congress to cancel this disability with a 2/3 vote. Mr. Cicilline obviously is ignoring, or maybe thinks he can get around, the Amnesty Act of 1872. That act states that no such Amendment 14 disability shall ever again exist. A federal judge already has set the precedent for recognizing this act in the case of January 6ers. Someone tried to disqualify Representative Madison Cawthorn from the 11th District of North Carolina from the ballot. That judge said no. Legacy media outlets, including the Boston Globe, reacted in utterly predictable editorial outrage. The Hill has an article implying that Cicilline is trying to disqualify Trump personally through legislation. Well, that would be a bill of attainder, a legislative verdict against someone, which the Constitution forbids, Article 9, Section 3. But absent a verdict, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 3, but absent a verdict in the Senate or in a court of law, that's all that Cicilline has got. The only other way to accomplish his goal would be to repeal or clarify the Amnesty Act of 1872. Now that would probably require a 2/3 vote right there. And furthermore, the Congressional Research Service found his legislative language vague. Now, Section 5 of Amendment 14 gives Congress the power to enforce through appropriate legislation the provisions of the amendment. But naming a specific person as a target would not qualify. Bottom line, even if such a crazy bill passes, you can expect the Trump legal team to seek an immediate injunction against it. Then, toward the end of last week, the Washington Post carried a story that set at naught the narrative of Trump stealing classified information to sell it to foreign powers. The Patriot Journal quotes the Post thus: "Federal agents and prosecutors have come to believe former President Donald Trump's motive for allegedly taking and keeping classified documents was largely his ego and a desire to hold on to the materials as trophies or mementos, according to people familiar with the matter. FBI interviews and witnesses so far," they said, "also do not point to any nefarious effort by Trump to leverage, sell, or use the government secrets. Instead, the former president seemed motivated by a more basic desire not to give up what he believed was his property," these people said. Close quote. Now, what the Post did not say was that Trump felt that whether Trump might have felt that those documents held evidence of wrongdoing by that booby-prize collection of intelligence community and bureaucratic holdovers we call the deep state. Nor does the Post story explain why the Attorney General gave the order for that raid. But the Post story did remove every excuse Merrick Garland had for laying on that raid. He must be getting desperate, hence designating a special counsel. Another motive is to give the appearance of objectivity, since technically special counsels work independently of the Attorney General's office. But I'm going to show you that this appearance is deceiving, and the technicality isn't going to save Merrick Garland's reputation, which he has already sullied beyond any effort to launder it. On Friday night, the Gateway pundit carried Trump's swift and sure reaction. Now, before I quote it, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You're not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the last few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Now, whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. And now, my direct quote of Donald Trump's reaction. Quote, "We cannot let them get away with it. Why is there not a special counsel for them? I've done nothing wrong. They've been involved in criminal activity. These people are corrupt, and yet they go after the innocent. Millions of pages, they've got nothing. You take a look at the fake impeachment hoax, and I won. We won. We went through the whole process. Isn't this sort of double jeopardy? We did so well in a very hostile Congress. I made a perfect phone call. Can you imagine if the call was actually a bad call? Why aren't they investigating all of the presidents who preceded me? Obama, Clinton, the Bushes. They took documents with them. Is it such an unfair situation? It is such an unfair situation that is happening. If they're going to investigate me, they need to investigate all the others. They have to invade Bill and Hillary's home, the Bush's home. We're living in a very bad country. Third world countries have their results in the next day. Our borders are wide open. If they really wanted to run against me, they would say, let him run. We've done nothing wrong, and they've committed massive crimes. We are going to restore power to the people. As I've said earlier in the week, our comeback starts right now. Unquote, Donald Trump. I have a link in the description to a video of Trump saying all that. And here's the important thing for all of you to remember. I don't think Trump is the only target. According to CNBC, Special Counsel Jack Smith's brief is a lot wider. Quote, one investigation that Smith will handle is currently looking into whether any person, including Trump, unlawfully interfered with the transfer of presidential power following the 2020 election or the certification of the Electoral College vote in President Joe Biden's favor on January 6, 2021. The other DOJ probe is focused on whether Trump broke the law and obstructed justice in connection with his removal of hundreds of documents from the White House, which were shipped to his residence at Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach, Florida. Close quote. The key phrases are unlawfully and broke the law. At least with the special counsel, the Attorney General may not directly make up law as he goes. Still, the first part of that brief would cover anyone at all who wondered whether the election of 2020 results are all that they should have been. And who is Jack Smith anyway? Jack Posobiec, Charlie Kirk, and the Post-Millennial. They know. I have links in the description to a tweet by the Post-Millennial containing video of Merrick Garland announcing Smith's appointment, a video of Merrick Garland justifying the original Trump raid, and a tweet by Charlie Kirk making the same protest Trump made, or at least one of them. Quote, notice Merrick Garland appoints a special counsel for Trump's memorabilia spat, but not for the Biden family's corrupt foreign business deals. Unquote, Charlie Kirk. And you've heard me talk about that angle before. Just 2 days ago, in fact. And then we come to another person who knows all about Jack Smith. His name is Daniel Assange. The same last name as Julian. On Telegram yesterday, he left a lengthy message to which I've left a link in the description. Quote, Jack Smith, the prosecutor hired as special counsel to determine whether or not to charge Trump for retaining state documents, was appointed to his role at the Brooklyn U.S. Attorney's Public Integrity Section by then AG Loretta Lynch, who infamously held a tarmac airplane meeting, probably meant airport meeting, with the Clintons amidst their email scandal in 2015 to 2016 in which she, Lynch, among others, was implicated. There is nothing organic about their choice. He was appointed after a huge scandal in which the DOJ was implicated in withholding exculpatory evidence beneficial to the defense in an investigation into then Alaskan Senator Ted Stevens. Unquote, Daniel Assange. So you see, the very appointment of Jack Smith taints the investigation with politics. Add to it the attempt at a bill of attainder, and we have no reason to trust this investigation. Many have suggested that President Trump would inevitably come under indictment once he announced his decision to run for president, which decision he announced last week. Neither the Republican establishment nor the Democratic Party can afford to have Trump take office again. Indeed, the fear of an investigative apparatus turning against them likely prompted the top House leadership echelon to step down. Maybe the FTX implosion prompted that step down. We don't know yet. Now, I've already said that the courts are the new conservative theater. Now, I was speaking then of bad judicial precedent and unconstitutional legislation. Now, we must look to legal defense as the enemies of freedom take lawfare to a new level. We see bills of attainder, which are laws declaring individuals to be outlaws, ex post facto laws, laws punishing conduct that was lawful when it happened, malicious prosecution, and selective application of the law. A free society cannot tolerate such behavior. To quote Jefferson, "A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people." Unquote, Thomas Jefferson. Now, he was talking about King George III, of course, but his words apply equally to a chief executive or his attorney general and to legislative leaders. And now I'm going to give you a further paraphrase of that part of the Declaration of Independence that applies today. The paraphrase begins, "In every stage of these abuses and usurpations of power, we have petitioned for redress in the humblest terms. The Biden administration has answered our repeated petitions only by repeated injury. Nor have we been lacking in attention to our fellow citizens. Yes, those who do vote Democratic. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by Congress and some state legislatures to prosecute us and our champions maliciously and promote further curtailment of everyone's freedom. And to promote experimentation on children and perhaps even entry into a nuclear war. We have reminded them of the causes and outcome of the American War for Independence. We have appealed to whatever humanity they still possess. And last, we have asked them politely and sincerely to disavow these abuses and usurpations before they divide the country irreparably. They too have turned deaf ears to the voices of justice and reason. If this continues, we shall then have to propose a national divorce, with all that that involves." Link in the description of the article to Nicholas Wu's 2 tweets with David Cicilline's letter, to the video of Trump responding to the special counsel appointment, to the post-millennials video of Merrick Garland appointing the special counsel, to the earlier video of Garland justifying the Mar-a-Lago raid, to Charlie Kirk's asking why the Justice Department isn't investigating Hunter Biden, to Daniel Assange's Telegram message giving Jack Smith's prior history, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my Mar-a-Lago raid playlist, to my talk about how important the courts now are, and to my talk about the FTX scandal. This is Terry A. Horowitz delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.